Tonight's the debate. Darren Bailey, the Republican challenger to incumbent Governor Democrat J.B. Pritzker. Tonight at Illinois State University. It's going to pit the two together on stage for the first time. They've previously taken part in a forum, but that was virtual. And I think this is going to be an opportunity for voters out there to see these two in raw form. Now, of course, it's going to be on Nexstar TV stations all across the state, so you can find your local listing. We'll definitely bring you some highlights tomorrow morning, early in the program, so be sure to always tune in to Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk, now 8:13, and I want to hear from you, your debate predictions. Again, 217-629-7970. That's the phone number here with Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY. You can email bishoponair@gmail.com. Also find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Just search Bishop on Air. So there's, of course, the Libertarian candidate, Scott Schluter. He's not going to be part of this debate, from my understanding. He's not necessarily making it, I guess, to a certain threshold. This has been a really weird year for debates this political season, has it not? I figured we would hear all kinds of different debates, especially on local races. For instance, why isn't Lisa Smith getting a chance to debate Sue Shearer? Why aren't we able to hear those two on the same stage together? They're running for the Illinois State House. What about debates between the U.S. Senate candidates, the Democrat incumbent, Tammy Duckworth, and the Republican challenger, Kathy Salvi? Why aren't we seeing those debates? Why aren't those being publicized? Well, they're not happening. Why is there not a debate between Attorney General Kwame Raoul and the Republican challenger, Tom DeVore? And of course, if you step back and put your political prognostication hat on, could be because maybe some that are in power right now don't see the benefit of debating somebody on stage. And they could possibly find themselves in a pitfall if they were to do such a thing. So we really haven't seen the number of debates that you would want to see in a healthy, thriving democracy, right? So we all have kind of a general assessment of which candidates we favor. But we are going to get that opportunity in the gubernatorial race with the first of two debates that are going to be having the two candidates, major party candidates, on the same stage. So tonight is the night at ISU. It's going to start at 7, and the debate's going to be featuring AARP members, the American Association of Retired Persons, but also college students. So you're going to get a wide range of different types of questions. Now, Pritzker is, of course, a billionaire, and he's got money. He's got money, and he's been spending a lot on campaign ads, including one like this, where he lays out some of his thoughts on the race.
This is normal Illinois.
Businesses keep opening.
Hotels are booked.
Restaurants are crowded.
That's all normal here now.
And Governor Pritzker helped make it happen.
So there you go. That's a campaign ad that Governor Pritzker has circulating on TV. Now, Bailey doesn't have the money that Pritzker has, but he's still rolling with his own TV ads. Here's some of what Darren Bailey's TV ads are sounding like.
He's a family farmer, somebody who understands what it's like to go to work every day, somebody who's fair-minded. I can trust this guy.
And that's actually a prominent black news reporter out of Chicago, now retired, in that particular ad. But I want to hear from you. What do you think the predictions are for this evening's debate? I know one thing that is guaranteed to be asked right out of the gate is comments that Darren Bailey made in a Facebook Live video back in September of 2020. This was highlighted by the incumbent Governor J.B. Pritzker's political campaign, where Bailey talked disparagingly about AARP in context of the organization's support for the then constitutional amendment that would create a progressive income tax. And Bailey didn't like the idea of these advocacy groups taking the side of the state needs more money. And he had some disparaging comments about AARP. So I anticipate that that's probably going to be one of the first questions raised. Interesting that the Pritzker campaign put that out yesterday afternoon in front of the debate tonight. But what are your predictions? Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Morning, Greg. Definitely the entire abortion debate is going to be brought up today because of Bailey's stance, and then, Pritzker's just devil may care.
Well, and it's going to be in front of college students. Illinois State University is going to play a role in this, and I think that there's going to be, whether or not it's intentional or not, the questions I think are really going to try to put Bailey in a corner on this issue.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's the other reason why, like you were saying earlier, why none of the other races are having any debates, because it's going to be the exact opposite. Because all the Republican candidates are basically able to put them in a corner because of what's been going on, and everybody's kind of just fed up with it, to be honest.
Well, and there's a lot of issues out there, depending on which poll you look at, which is rising to the surface as the most important. Is it taxation? We're the second highest property taxes in the country. We have among the highest tax burden in the country. Is it crime? I've been seeing some really bizarre crime videos out of Chicago as of late that'll just make you wonder if you're looking at a comic book. And are those things going to rise to the surface? Corruption, ethics, are those things going to rise to this? Or is it really going to be these hot button issues like abortion or what kinds of books are in private schools versus what kinds of books are in public schools?
And it's just like what you said. I mean, they got all the college students, all the AARP people that are going to be there. They're just going to want to try to focus on the hot topic stuff because that's the crowd that they're going to be bringing in. And, that's the whole plan. They're not going to want to talk about everything in general or try to reach the broad range of it all. They're going to want to make sure that, Bailey looks like a complete jerk for saying what he said or, thinking what he's thinking or actually having an opinion on stuff. And
so
not trying
you seem to be indicating that you don't think this is going to be a fair conducted debate.
I think it's already started out one-sided.
It's an interesting analysis. I appreciate the call, and I'd like to hear your thoughts at 217-629-7970. That's the phone number here with Springfield's Morning News. Again, you can email bishoponair@gmail.com or find me on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Just search out Bishop on Air, and we can connect that way. But I'd like to hear from you live. What are your debate predictions? Again, the debate's going to be this evening between Governor J.B. Pritzker and also Republican State Senator Darren Bailey, and that's something that we're going to hear a wide variety of topics, I imagine. But do you feel, as the previous caller said, that this seems to be already lined up to try to paint Bailey in a negative light? And that raises questions. I mean, at least to that caller, he doesn't seem to trust this process, this particular process of having honest debate on stage with those vying to run the state. But anyways, some of the other issues, of course, you have the Safety Act that's been pretty controversial. Crime is obviously a major issue, and that's something that each of the candidates have had to talk about. And I imagine that's also going to be on the docket. How much of it's a focus, we shall see. But you had Governor J.B. Pritzker talk about how there needs to be some changes to the Safety Act, in particular because he says people are misrepresenting the law, so he sees some changes possible in the future.
Are there changes, adjustments that need to be made? Of course, and there have been adjustments made, and there will continue to be.
And here's Senator Darren Bailey talking about what he predicts is going to happen if no changes are made.
The three musketeers of crime, chaos, and dysfunction care more about making life easier for criminals than their number one responsibility, keeping honest residents safe.
So your predictions for tonight's debates. What are the topics? Who's going to come out on top? We shall see. And I'll bring you some highlights tomorrow here with Springfield's Morning News. On 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and